For today's lesson, we are going to be rereading our story, The New Friend. We are also going to be completing an activity in our reader's notebook and reading our decodable. Let's go ahead and get started. Let's dig a little deeper into our main story for this week. Let's talk about one of our target skills, understanding characters. You read about a character named Makoto in The New Friend. Think about what Makoto says and does in the story. You can use these clues or text evidence to figure out how he feels and what he is like. List clues about Makoto and the other characters to help you understand them better. We will use a chart like this one below to describe our characters' words, actions, and feelings. Another skill we need to talk about is about the narrator. Sometimes a character tells the story. This character is the narrator. The narrator may use words like I, me, and we. Which character in The New Friend do you think is telling the story? Why do you think so? Look for text evidence in the words and pictures to help you figure out. So as we're rereading through our story, be thinking about our characters and how they act and feel in the story. Pay attention to when our narrator is talking and the kind of words that they use. Our essential question is, what can you learn from someone who is from another country? Be thinking about these things as we're reading through our story, The New Friend. Martin, Lewis, and I lived in the city. Next door was an old house. No one had lived there for a long time. One day, a work crew came with pails and brushes. They started to wash and paint the empty house. After they were done, the paint had dried, and the house looked pretty and new. The next day, a big truck pulled up. It was full of crates and boxes. A crew unloaded the boxes off the truck. A new family would soon live there. Today, Lewis went over to the house next door. He met a boy called Makoto. Then we all met Makoto. Makoto was 7 years old, just like us. Before long, we found out that Makoto played soccer. He could keep running and running. He was good at learning things too. He learned all of our names by the end of the game. Soon, Makoto's family was all moved in. We met his mother and father. They were glad that Makoto had made some new friends. While Makoto's mother and father went to buy food, Makoto stayed and played with us. When Makoto's mother and father rejoined us, Martin, Makoto, and I helped them carry the bags into the house. Makoto said he would show us around his house. Then we went up to look at Makoto's room. Makoto still had a lot of boxes to unpack. He had some nice toys and kites. He said that on the next windy day, we could bring his kites outside and fly them. He said I could fly a kite by myself. Then we went outside to look at Makoto's pictures from Japan. He had them in a green book. On the first page, we saw Makoto's old house in Japan. On the next page, we saw Makoto's family in Japan. The last page had pictures of Makoto's friends. They showed Makoto's 7th birthday party. Makoto says he wishes we could meet his old friends. At the end of the day, Makoto's mother and father repaid us for helping with cookies. We said please and thank you and ate up. Makoto's father said he had a new job in the city. Makoto would be going to our school. We were all glad about that. What a great story for us to get to read about making a new friend. I really enjoyed our story today, and I'm excited to read it again this week. Now let's move on to our next activity for our reading lesson today. For our next activity, we are going to complete the activity on page 140 in our Readers Volume 2 workbook. This week we are talking all about words with the OW sound. The OW sound can be shown as OU and OW, as we've seen on our OWL card. Our directions tell us to circle the word that best completes each sentence. For numbers 1 through 6, we have a sentence with a blank. There are 2 words below each sentence, and we must circle the word that best completes our sentence we are working with. Let's begin with sentence number 1. Sentence number 1 says, I got a new pet. He's a blank dog. He's a hound, Circle the word that best completes the sentence for number 1. I got a new pet. He's a blank dog. Sentence number 2 says, he should not jump up on the blank. Ouch, coach, ouch, couch. He should not jump up on the blank. Circle the word that best completes the sentence for number 2. Sentence number 3 says, at night, my dog blinked at the moon. Owls, holes, owls, howls. Circle the word that best completes the sentence for number 3. At night, my dog blinks at the moon. Number 4, my dog's bark is very blank. Loud, loud, load, load. Circle the word that best completes the sentence. My dog's bark is very blank. Sentence number 5. He will blink when someone comes to the house. He will grow, growl, growl. Circle the word that best completes the sentence for number 5. He will blink when someone comes to the house. Number 6. He sits when I tell him to get blank. Down, down, dome. He sits when I tell him to get blank. Circle the word that best completes the sentence for number 6. Once you have completed circling all of the words in the sentences, you will be all done with this part of your activity. Be sure to have your work done before we go into our reading intervention time. Now let's end our lesson with reading our decodable, Scout and Count. Now let's read our decodable, Scout and Count by Tawana Ross and illustrated by Philomena O'Neill. As we're reading through our story, I want you to be listening for words that have the ow sound in them. Remember that the ow sound can be seen as OU or OW. Be sure to be following along with me at home. Scout sat on the couch when Dad came into the house. In his arms was a sweet brown and white pup. Miss Crown gave us this pup. Will we keep him, Scout? Wow, said Scout. Yes, please, let's keep him. He is so cute. He's a sweet pup. What will we name him? Asked Dad. How about Sprout? Scout frowned. Then she asked, Can we name him Count? Count is a good name, said Dad. Here, Count, Scout shouted as Count sniffed around his new house. Count did not come. I will teach Count myself, vowed Scout. It will be like dog school. Scout found a bowl for food. Here, Count, shouted Scout. Count did not come. So Scout took that bowl to Count and fed him. Count ate and ate. Scout found a brush for Count's coat. Scout did not see Count. Here, Count, shouted Scout. Count did not come to her. So Scout found Count, sat down, and brushed his coat. One day, Scout played out in the yard. Count sat with Dad. Count and Dad sat on the deck. Here, Count, shouted Scout. Count jumped down off the deck and ran to Scout. Wow! Count knows his name now, shouted Scout. Bow wow, barked Count. What a fun story for us to get to read. about our Girl Scout and her puppy, Count. I heard so many words that had the ow sound in it. Did you hear them too? Well, we will be talking more about the owl sound as we are working through our reading and our activities this week. I will see you during our reading intervention time. If you have any questions before then, please let me know, and I will see you later.